Didn't even make it through orientation, by user pansexual mim. At the job I'm at now, first one fresh out of getting an AA degree for computer support, I was hired for a position of IT technician with the intent to build and manage the internal help desk of a company of about 60 people. My first day I do the standard meeting with HR to go over orientation. It's an industrial and office environment, so everyone needs to view safety videos. The lovely HR assistant is also new, and I'm her first orientation without her manager supervising it. She's nervous and is fumbling a bit with getting her presentation going. Or rather, she's struggling with the mouse. Me, something wrong? Assistant, ugh, it's this new mouse. I got it from IT manager but it doesn't work. Me, may I see it? Assistant, oh, that's going to be your job, right? Of course. I pick up the mouse and turn it over. The switch is toggled to on, but there's no sensor light. I open up the case. No battery. Me, looks like it needs a battery in here. Assistant, oh my gosh. Are you kidding me? She was horribly embarrassed, got a battery from a cabinet, and the mouse worked fine after that. It's been over a year since I started. This wasn't the silliest instance of tech support. But I think I'll do fine in this field. You assumed you needed to do what? By user cyborg_ninja_cat. I'm a full-stack web developer who does support, maintenance, and evolutions on a number of websites, including a certain somewhat specialized e-commerce site which will be the focus of today's story. The website allows price breakpoints to be defined for each product, so they can be cheaper the more units you order. Some products have dozens of breakpoints. I receive a ticket with a heartfelt plea from the client. Is it possible to add the ability to drag and drop breakpoints into orders so we can add new ones in the middle, without having to edit all the ones after the point we want to add it? Well, that seems like a reasonable request. But these things only make sense if they're in ascending order, and I'm sure they're sorted before being used on the front end. I wonder what happens if I just add one at the end. Sure, it would be a bit annoying if they were out of order in the CMS, but let's just. It sorts automatically. In the CMS, as soon as I save the product. And on the front end where the breakpoints are used. I close the ticket as not an issue with a comment explaining gently how it actually works, and refrain from asking how long they've been editing dozens of breakpoints by hand without even trying what happens if they don't bother. But they've been editing dozens of breakpoints by hand when simply not doing it would have exactly the same effect. Customer has actually done something useful, by user niche21202. I got a call yesterday about an internet outage. The setup is an ISP router which just functions as an overpowered modem and a firewall for the productive networks. We went through and checked everything, restarting the router, calling the ISP. The router was working as usual. The firewall, though, turned out to be offline somehow. Customer states that it's not lighting up. No response from the device. The firewall was toast, we had no way of finding out what's the issue. This brand of firewall has an external power supply with a proprietary connector, so just switching that was not an option for us. Our only way to maybe fix it was to order a new PSU. This would take at least a day or two. So we tried to reconfigure the ISP router in a way that they could establish a site-to-site VPN connection to access the server and PBX at the main office. Tried for an hour. Failed. No way to fix it. The next day, we kept trying to find a solution. Talking with their internal IT guy, as a phone call came in. Some guy working at the site with the failed firewall had checked the PSU. It's dead. He then took another one with the same specs but a different connector, soldered the connector from the failed one to the new one and it worked. Now the site is up and running again until a new PSU is delivered. For context, the customer does light installations, so at least someone there knows their way around electronics. They own the hardware, and he asked his boss for permission. It's probably safe, but at least the PSU will still be replaced. The firewall may follow soon. The workshopping experience, by user Taxi. A short and sweet one. I work at a typical help desk, kicking tickets around, resetting passwords, you know the deal. While looking at our ticket queue, I noticed some WOMI else escalated a ticket to our second tier, but the summary just read. Employee would like to access clothing store website to make a purchase. Wait, what? Well, not sure why that website is blocked, but I'm also fairly certain there's no real reason they need to access it. Let me open this one. Description. Employee was not happy that we block website and would like it unblocked so they may use it on the company network. I advised them that they would have to use their personal device, as website is not accessible through their work device. Employee refused and would like to be escalated. I giggled a bit, thought this is fun and sent a quick reply to the employee in question. Good morning. Please provide a business justification so that we may allow access to website.com. Thanks. After a few hours, I get a reply. NVM, you can close this. Oh no. Mark is resolved. How to make someone feel sorry for future users, by user Marhunter. First time posting, so please forgive any potential formatting screw-ups. This tale is from a few years ago at a desk I no longer work for. To make a long explanation short, we were subcontractors, Company C, who worked for the primary contract holder, Company B, who provided IT support for the parent company, Company A. Company A had become extremely fed up with Company B's shenanigans and decided to not renew the contract with them, which lost us our spot. Company A loved us and repeatedly told us during the split that if it was possible they'd just keep us on by ourselves. We were a desk of 5 people providing Tier 1 help desk support for Company A. Basically we were the first line of IT, answering calls, working emails, sifting through and working/routing tickets as needed. We worked remote as the location for Company A was literally on the opposite side of the US and all their offices were in one state while Company B provided local support. While I have some rather fun stories from this desk, this one in particular came amid the split. We were in charge of basically bringing our replacements up to speed while they were getting everything in place to take over. No direct training but a lot of trading information and going over job duties. During this time our team lead had more than a few meetings, showing the ticketing system, showing the knowledge base, and going over what our help desk covered so the new company would know how many bodies to throw at it, I mean how to staff it. We would frequently get massive waves of new account creation requests, even some at literally the 11th hour of my shift when I was the last man standing for the day, yay for overtime, along with calls for getting the new agents and staff's accounts up to snuff regarding remote sign-in, MFA, various access requests and all the fun account admin stuff. Our team lead at the time would often leave meetings laughing all the way back to his chair, being a jaded and soulless person like myself, at how incredibly underprepared the new company seemed. As he told it, the more he talked about how much the 5 of us covered, the wider the new company's IT rep's eyes got, the more they sighed, and the more they would shake their heads when they thought no one was looking. Considering the calls we got, I believe it too. See, the new guys apparently bid way lower than everyone for the contract, because they didn't understand just how big the job was. Which brings us now to my favorite call from this time. One slow day we were all sitting around chatting to pass the time. This was in the winter so work on site had slowed down, which means call volume dropped like a stone. Turns out when users can't be on site to break things, there's less to fix, who'd have thought. But regardless, my turn in the call queue rolled up. I answer and am greeted with a rather confused sounding person, we'll call him John Doe for now. $Me, hello, thank you for calling the Company A service desk, this Agent Marhunter, how can I help you? $JD, yes hello, I am unable to reset my password or log in remotely. I work for new company and am needing to sign in to get my access set up. $Me, okay, what errors are you receiving? Is your initial logon password not working? $JD, no, the password is working but I cannot change it. It keeps saying the password is not accepted. $Me, it could be a issue caused by the minimum requirements in that case. I then proceed to assist in coming to an understanding of the password requirements, fairly normal stuff though they did have a rather large minimum length at the time. The kicker is, there are a few words that are forbidden and the system would pick up those words and kick an error that the password was not accepted if it saw them. These words are very obvious, things like password welcome user stuff like that, along with forbidding anything more than 2 numbers in sequence, so you can't do 1234, etc. Things that normally everyone knows not to use, so we don't even think to mention it. $JD, my password meets all those requirements but it's not letting me change it. I'm changing it to completely obvious and horrifically bad password, why won't it work? $Me, internally, record scratch, wait, no way, give me 1 moment to check the account then. It was at this time something hit me like a brick, something I saw while checking the account details. I began frantically looking in Active Directory to see the account, organization title. Cybersecurity. I couldn't believe it. A guy whose job title placed him in a higher profile role in cybersecurity was trying to use a password that people give as an example of how not do it. I was flabbergasted. Putting on my best customer service voice, I politely reply. $Me, I think I see the problem. The system may be detecting words and numbers in sequence and not allowing it. Try a different one avoiding those. $JD, that worked. It's so strange that it wouldn't allow what I was using before. Thank you. Click. I sat there in a near daze staring at my freshly typed ticket for call documentation. It had to be a joke, right? Maybe a test? The cybersecurity team trolling us as they have a million times before? No, it was legit. The more I looked at the account and its newly created history, it all became horribly clear. As I began failing to stifle a laugh, the guy at the desk next to me asked what was so funny on the last call. I explained what happened, which summoned a loud bang from behind as I turned to see my team lead's head hit the desk. $TL, there is no way on this earth he was actually cybersecurity, you've got to be wrong. What was his user ID? As he looks up the user, he just began holding his hand over his mouth and making sounds that were somewhere between a laugh and crying. We all collectively felt so bad for the users of this company. Despite Company B basically ruining the contract for us and making us lose our position, the users generally liked us a lot, even if we were horribly jaded and thought most of them should be banned from all electronics. But let this tale be a lesson: no matter how bad users can be, there are some techs that you see that will make you genuinely feel empathy for them, even if you're a soulless husk like me.